Going on, Falcon fan? This your boy Ricondo coming back at you with another video. So apparently, my last video I just did on this schedule did not have any sound. Thank you, Wallace, for coming out telling me that I had no sound. Had no idea that I did not have any sound. So I'm going to go ahead and record this video again. Guess what? My points probably changed now because, I don't have time to think about some of the things I said earlier. And now I'm going to get into it again. But guys, with that being said, if you have not already, go ahead and please subscribe to the channel. Please hit the notification bell so you know that I drop another video. Please hit the like button so I know you guys out here I talk about. Then please share my video throughout the YouTube universe so more people can come in and hear me talk about these Atlanta Falcons. So guys, the schedule is out. It is set. We do have our opponents. We knew the opponents were, but we didn't know when we was going to actually play them. And it is out. The Atlanta Falcons have no primetime games. Always surprised. Nobody believe in the Falcons. They don't think nobody naturally want to see the Falcons. That's okay with us. We're going to set everybody up this season. And we're going to start putting ourselves on the map so people can start respecting these dirty birds. But we have 8 home games. The AFC have the 9 home games this year. The Atlanta Falcons have the 8 home games. We got 1 international game in London. And we start the season off against the rookie quarterback, probably Bryce Young. We're going to be interested to see if he's going to get the start. I feel like he is being the number 1 pick. I think definitely Bryce Young is going to be running out there on the field as day 1 starter for the Carolina Panthers. With that being said, let's go ahead and get in the schedule. We're going to talk about the home games first because I feel like the Atlanta Falcons could potentially go undefeated at home. Looking at the schedule, I'm not going to give a win-loss prediction right now. I want to wait until the end of the training camp, see who the 53-man roster breakdown. Then I'll decide to give my win-loss record at that time. Right now, I'm feeling kind of a homer. I can only see the Falcons losing 2 games. I don't know if that's really realistic, so that's why I'm not going to give my win-loss predictions right now. However, so we're going to talk about these home games. So the first home game of the season is going to be against the Carolina Panthers on September the 10th. Love that we got to get the Carolina Panthers early. One reason, new coaching staff, new quarterback. We don't really know what they're going to run. They don't know how our defense is going to look. So it's going to be a fill-out game for both teams. But bringing a rookie quarterback in against a veteran defense like the Atlanta Falcons is going to have this season coming up, I think bode well for us. So I'm really looking forward to that game. I want to see how Bryce Young come out and play against the Atlanta Falcons, his first home game. His first start in the NFL away from home. I can't wait to this game, but I love the Falcons' chances to win this game. Definitely, this game is going to be really hype. First game of the season. Division opponent. The key is to win your division. That's the first key when you're trying to make the playoffs. And we start off with a division opponent in week 1. Not the angst this year. It's going to be the Carolina Panthers, the team that I said personally that I was really, really concerned about. So we get them early to kind of fill out our division. Our next home game, the next week, we're going to be playing Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers, the new look Green Bay Packers. Of course, they went out and got weapons for Jordan Love. I feel like he still is in the transition phase, have not had a lot of many snaps, just like our quarterback, Desmond Ridder. So I think this is going to be another interesting game. We get to look at him in week 1 against. They're playing the Bears, their first game of the season, to kind of get an idea of what that team is going to look like, with Jordan Love under center. So it's going to be interesting to see that Packers game. But again, guys, I love the Falcons' chances against this Packers team. New quarterback coming in, his a road game for him. I love our first 2 games of the season. Potentially, the Falcons could definitely go 2-0. And guess what? That'll be the first time that the Falcons will be over 500 since 2017. Actually, if they win game week 1, that'll be the first time they'll be over 500. So that will definitely be a way to start off the season. The next home game will be on October the 8th against the Houston Texans. guess what? Potentially another rookie quarterback. New rookie head coach. Definitely love the Falcons' chance against that. I do love D'Amico Ryan, his defense. I know those guys going to come out and be aggressive. They just drafted Will Anderson as well. I don't think the Texans is as bad as everybody think. I thought if you go back and look at some of their games they played, they was competitive in a lot of their games last season. Looking at the strength of schedule, a lot of people try to look at the strength of schedule and try to determine what team is going to be like because they last year. But every team improves. So, like, for an example, if anybody looking at the Falcons on their schedule and think it's going to be an easy game because of the strength of schedule from last season, we know the Falcons brought in 18 new people in free agency and 6 new draft pieces in the draft. So it's a totally different team than last season. So you can't go off last season's record and win-loss records and things like that. You got to play your opponent this season. That's what I love about NFL because it really is any given Sunday. But I do love the Falcons' chances going up against the Houston Texans. New rookie quarterback, new rookie head coach. I love Arthur Smith going up against that D'Amico Ryan defense. Had a little experience playing that defense last year when he was with the 49ers. Another back-to-back game. On the 15th, we actually going to play the Washington Commanders. Guess what? Another quarterback that has not had that many snaps, and Sam Howell coming in for the Commanders. It should be a get-back game for Taylor Heineke, even though, Des Ridder going to be starting. But maybe he can give us some insights or something like that to finally beat the Washington Commanders. We have lost to them back-to-back seasons. At the time, Taylor Heineke was the quarterback. So maybe having him on our side this time would give us a little look, and we can finally beat these Commanders. Both of those games where we played against them the last 2 seasons really been competitive. But I feel like as our team has improved, it should give us a little bit more advantage, especially playing these guys on our home field. The next game going to be against the Minnesota Vikings. Kirk Cousins. Minnesota won a lot of games last year. The margin of victory was not really that close. They was in a lot of one-score games. Can they repeat that? Well, time will tell with that. But it's a really good, solid team coming in. But I do like the fact that they got to come to Atlanta to play us. Like I said, just give us the advantage. I like the Atlanta Falcons' chances of winning that game against, the weapons course. They got Dalvin Cook and Jefferson. So it's going to be tough. We got to be ready to play against those guys. The next game, after our bye week 11, we get to finally play those hated rivalry Saints. And we need to get some get back. Ryan Nielsen need to get back. Caden Ellis, David Amayada, all those guys need to come in and let them know that, hey, this is why we left, because the Falcons are doing something over here and you guys are not. So we finna come out here and lay the smackdown on you guys. So hopefully that, coming off that bye week, basically give us 2 weeks to prepare for these guys. Another division opponent. And you never know where that's going to be week 11, what the division is going to be looking like. Our next home game, finally play the Bucks. We play the Bucks in Tampa early in the season, but we get them again on the 10th of December down at Raymond James Stadium. Here in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. So I can't wait to see that game. We don't know who's going to be the quarterback. Of course, Kyle Trask and Baker Mayfield is going to be compete for that position. So it will be interesting to see who they have under center at that time. Are they in a rebuild? They still have some of those really good weapons on the outside, and Chris Godwin and Mike Evans. So that defense is really still stout. So it's going to be a really good, tough contest for us. I can't wait to see how the Tampa Bay Buccaneers looks this year. And then the last game, a home game that we have, would be against, guess what? Another rookie quarterback, Anthony Richardson. By this time, Anthony Richardson probably don't play more games than he actually played in college. So he should be seasoned. He should be have an idea about the speed of the NFL. Interestingly, how his NFL career is going to be going so far. I felt like Anthony Richardson probably should have stayed another year to get some more playing games, but he came to number 4 pick overall. They're going to bring him in slowly. We should have a good idea of how they're going to be utilizing him in their offense with the Indianapolis Colts. So by that time, I really believe that we have an idea about what Anthony Richardson look like. So guys, that's our home games. All our home games. 8 home games this season. I really believe that Atlanta Falcons definitely have a chance to compete and win all those games. Last year we went 6-3 at home. If we could better that, possibly go undefeated at home, that would really be exciting for us. We got to win better on the road, but those 8 home games, I think the Atlanta Falcons have a really, really good, nice schedule for those guys moving forward. Now, we do have 3 preseason games. I forgot to mention that. Our first preseason game is definitely going to be against Miami. Be interested to see if Arthur Smith do the joint practices again. I think he likes doing that. I think the team likes it as well. All that time going against your fellow teammates at training camp, kind of different to go against another team in practice, just to see where you're at, engage yourself before you get into the preseason games. So we do have that first game in Miami, and then the last 2 against Cincinnati and Pittsburgh will be in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. So those are our preseason games. Can't wait to see how our 53-man roster competition, because remember, this offseason is all about competition. They got a lot of guys, a lot of depth. The competition is going to be really fierce. So those preseason games really going to be a big deal this year for the Atlanta Falcons. All right, so let's get into the away games. The away games, little bit more interesting for our Atlanta Falcons. However, I do like the schedule. I'm just going to really be honest with you. The first away game, of course, is going to be against the uprising Detroit Lions. Their regime is going their 3rd season, just like the Atlanta Falcons. I really like the way they're really fortifying their trenches on both sides of the ball. Of course, their secondary still needs some room for improvement. So maybe that's where we might need to take advantage of the Detroit Lions. But we'll definitely give a good look at the Detroit Lions because they started the season off against the Kansas City Chiefs. So we'll kind of get a good glance of how the Detroit Lions going to be looking start this season. The next game is actually going to be in London. This is the second time the Falcons going to London in the last 3 seasons. So I can't wait. I love the Falcons. They really play well over there. It's really not a home game for the Jaguars, even though they do have a big fan base over there. But I feel the Falcons have a good fan base as well. So it's more like a neutral site, going to play in that stadium. One good thing to get over there, get settled in, get used to the time zone. That will be an early game for the Atlanta Falcons. I think it's going to be like at 9-something hour Eastern Standard Time. So guys, we got to get up and get ready to watch our Dirty Birds play. The next 2 games going to be against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's the first time we played the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and that's only our 2nd division game in that many weeks. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games. Actually 5 games before we play another division opponent. So right now we're trying to just see where everybody's at. Make sure we win in the conference because we play a good amount of conference teams as well. The Packers, the Commanders, and the Lions. So we need to make sure we win in those games, and then we play our 2nd division opponent, the Bucks. Like I said, we just talked about it. We don't know who's going to be under center, but still going to be a pretty good, tough game for us. Both of those teams, it's the division opponents, always play well against each other. That's just how it is because we see each other twice a year. A homecoming for Arthur Smith. The next game on the 29th, going back to Tennessee. I know he's going to be pumped for that. Him and, another guy, John Smith, is another former Tennessee Titans. Hopefully those guys be ready to go going up against Derrick Henry. Of course, going to be all the key on the defensive side of the ball first. Then the question is, who's going to be under center? Is it going to be Tannehill? Is it going to be Levis? Is it going to be Willis? Really don't know. By then, hopefully they don't figure it out. All right. The next away game is against the Arizona Cardinals. This is a week before our bye week. Our only West Coast trip this year. So we got one to go to London, and then the next trip we'll go over to the West Coast to play the Arizona Cardinals. Will Kyler Murray be back then? By then, I think this is the year where the Arizona Cardinals is maybe in a little rebuild. Do they want to rush Kyler Murray back this year after he tore his ACL and put him back out there? Or are they just going to go with the flow and just build up capital and get ready for next season? Really going to be interesting to see. They got a new head coach, so it's going to be interesting to see how the Arizona Cardinals play this year out. But that's right before our bye. Like I said, then we'll come back home and play those hated New Orleans Aints. The next away game is the week after the Aints. We'll play the New York Jets. By then, Aaron Rodgers will be leathered, be ready to go. That's going to be a really tough game. It's going to be cold up in December in the Meadowlands. But it's going to be a good test to see where the Falcons at. By this time, the Falcons will be hit a lot of strides. Each week you want to see improvement from your team. By December, hopefully the Falcons be playing their best football, and we can actually get a good look and see how these guys is going to fare against a pretty good team that everybody penciled in to be making a Super Bowl run. We finally play our third. This will be our fourth division opponent. We'll be playing the Panthers again. So we played them in week 1. We don't play them again until towards the end of the season, and we'll go back to Carolina. Remember what happened last year against Carolina, that Thursday night game. It's a game to forget. I was there in the rain, just bad. So hopefully we could fare better this time when we go to that stadium. And by then, hopefully, Bryce Young hit his stride. It'll be a pretty good game. We have a lot more film on him to see what he's actually able to do, in this offense. So with Frank Wright, I'm really interested to see how they fare. And then our last 2 games of the season will actually be on the road. We get to play Justin Fields again. This time we get to play him in Soldier Field. It's going to be New Year's Eve, so it's going to be cold up in Chicago. That's going to be a tough game. We got to be able to, contain Justin Field once again. He finally got his number 1, target on the outside. So hopefully Justin Field can start to show that he actually had the talent to play in NFL and not just be a running quarterback running all over the field. And then the last away game is, of course, going again against those New Orleans Aints. Hopefully by then the division has been decided, but it doesn't matter. Not if we already got the division locked up, we still want to beat the Aints. So that's going to be a good game, last game of the season, or maybe it could be for the division. Either way, good game to play last game of the season. I can't wait to get there and end the season. Hopefully, get ready for a postseason run. So, guys, that's the schedule. Like I said, I'm not going to do win-loss records right now. I want to see how the 53-man roster breaks out. I want to, kind of look at each team and see what they're looking like this year. This is great. Looking at this schedule, looking at what I feel about the Falcons right now, would definitely put myself in and be like, I said the Falcons are going to win this many games, and they lose one, to a team they shouldn't lose against. But I mean, that happens in NFL because it's so competitive. But the Atlanta Falcons really makes a lot of improvements this year on their team. This is the year that Arthur Smith needs to be able to show the progressions from year 1 to year 2, now to year 3. Finally was able to put a team together. Him and GM Terry Fontenot, able to bring guys in, to mix with our younger guys. I think this is more of a complete team. Like I said, there's a lot of depth. That's why the competition is really going to be good this offseason. But at the same time, you can have it all on paper. You still got to go out and perform. The big question that everybody is going to be talking about, how is Desmond Ridder going to play? That is the question mark, because if we had somebody that was a veteran like a Matty Ice, maybe, people will respect these Atlanta Falcons more on the outside Not like we respect him, because we believe that Arthur Smith is going to put Desmond Ridder in the best positions for him to be successful. But you still got to go out and play the games. That's what it's all about. You got to be able to execute. The game plans can be put in. The play calls can be called. But the players got to go out and make the plays. I like the way this team is put together. Now they just go out and do the thing. I like this schedule. I think it's really going to bode well for the Falcons this year. But it's all about going out and getting those W's. Guys, let me know what you think. Now, you can go out and give me your predictions. I don't mind. I'm curious to see what you guys think. Do you think we can actually go undefeated at home this year and continue to show that progress? You know, trying to bring the Atlanta Falcon fan base in, for we can actually create that real major home field advantage by continuing to win games. Because I think that what causes that. If we start to win, and maybe more fans will start coming out to support the team. How many games do you think we actually gonna lose? Right? We could potentially, not getting a prediction because I don't know who we're gonna lose or win against, but we could. I can kind of agree with what Calais Campbell saying, that Atlanta Falcons potentially could be a 13-win team this season. And that's just picking out 4 games. Maybe they could lose. But the Atlanta Falcons have a good chance. They have a pretty good squad. Just got to go out and execute and put it all on the field. So, guys, let me know what you think about this 2023 schedule, our opponents, what the game that you're excited to watch. For me, it's the first game of the season. I love football. I love watching the game. I can't wait to see the young rookie get out there and go against our front 7 on the defensive side of the ball, and those secondary guys as well. It's really going to be really interesting to see how Bryce Young play his first game against this really good defense, this Atlanta Falcon defensive front. So, guys, that's all I have. Give me your thoughts. Hopefully the sign is there. Before I put it out this time, I actually go check it. So, but thank Wallace again for telling me about the sound. This is my second take. Let me know what you think. This is your boy Ricondo. Come back at you with another video. Peace.